Angry guy here, and women only gyms are being shut down for discrimination against men. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already have it, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Women only gyms are being shut down for discrimination against men. This is actually not a clickbait title. We're going to go and jump into this first article. I want you guys to have a look at it. So, Connecticut Supreme Court rules women only gym areas violate state discrimination law. This is only the first of the articles that we're covering because there's another one that actually illustrates that these gyms entirely are illegal. So, women only gyms are also illegal and they are being shut down. But let's go ahead and check out this first. So, women only exercise areas in gyms and fitness clubs violate a state law banning discrimination based on gender, the Connecticut Supreme Court ruled Tuesday. Women think they're above the law. The 6-10 decision, this was a unanimous decision by a state Supreme Court. Guys, women are really messing around with fire right now. Very seldom do we get unanimous decisions. The 6-10 decision, written by Chief Justice Richard Robinson, overturned a lower court ruling and an earlier decision by a state human rights official. The case involved two men who complained about women only exercise areas at two gyms, at Edge Fitness Club in Stratford and a Club Fitness in Bloomfield. The case drew high interest from a variety of advocacy groups that submitted briefs to the court. Religious groups said separate workout areas are important for women whose religious beliefs bar them from exercising in front of men. Other groups, including GLBTQ legal advocates and defenders, said such gender exceptions can lead to unintended consequences and have been used to discriminate against LGBT and Q people. Several questions arose. Should women be protected from the ogling of men they believe are objectifying them? Do women only workout areas discriminate against men who have to wait in line to use equipment in the general public area? Should lesbian women be barred from the women only areas because they might objectify women? So, guys, this is getting really insane now. In the ruling, Robinson wrote there is no implied customer gender privacy exception to the ban against gender based discrimination in the state's Public Accommodation Act. The two gyms that are defendants in the case argued there was such an exception. This is a unanimous ruling by the Supreme Court. I don't know how these people thought they could do this. State laws exempt bathrooms, sleeping areas, and locker rooms from anti-gender discrimination laws, but doesn't specifically mention female-only workout areas. A reading of the law to imply a gender privacy exception, although presumably to benefit women, could also negatively affect the rights of women in a different way. Robinson wrote, such an exception could be invoked to exclude women based on the privacy interests of men and could justify discrimination against members of the LGBTQ community because some customers, due to modesty, find it uncomfortable to be around these individuals. Robinson wrote that the legislator is better suited to determine where to specifically limit anti discrimination protections, saying it's a public policy issue. Now, what he's actually saying is that if they allow this to stand, what women don't comprehend is that if it's okay for them to do it, then it's also okay for men to do it, which means it would be okay for men to create separate spaces for themselves that would not include women using the exact same law and policies, because women could basically say that, well, we want to use these spaces that men are using, and men could argue, no, I'm my modesty is there as well. Women have modesty and so do men, so we want to be treated equally, because if you don't treat us equally under the law, then that's a violation of our rights, and that directly goes to the Constitution. Like I said, this was a unanimous decision by the Supreme Court in this state. Now, in terms of women only gyms, that's another issue that has arisen. And the surprising thing regarding this is that women are seeing significant failures here as well. In terms of women only gyms, they are not actually succeeding. So in this article, it says that when it comes to women only gyms, they have drawbacks. States like Connecticut have ruled against single sex gyms, which violates state laws banning discrimination based on gender. And some gym goers have raised concerns about the limited choice of equipment at certain facilities. Lozier felt there weren't enough heavy weights and returned to the co ed gym. This is a woman who went to a women's only gym that was just for women. But guess what? At these women only gyms, they don't focus on lifting weights, they focus on trying to make their glutes larger and, accentuate other areas of their bodies. Isn't that interesting, guys? I was shocked, she recalled. Co ed gyms that I typically go to have a lot of different weights and a lot of different options. But the women only gym I visited had dumbbells that only went up to 50 pounds. And it only had two squat racks with few plate options. Critics have also pointed out that these gyms, despite their many benefits, are only short term solutions. The real problem that needs to be addressed is men's behavior. Guys, this is unbelievable. So, all they are doing is basically putting this on men. And it's intriguing because a lot of these gyms are now shutting down. You know, 60% of these gyms are essentially going bankrupt because so many men are walking away from them and choosing no longer to work out in these facilities. And, even the CEO of Planet Fitness was fired last year because of the declining rates of participation in the gym. They've lost so much money, and he was blamed for that. And they've been trying to come up with different ways to get people, specifically men, back in the gym, and it's not working out for them. And of course, everyone is afraid of standing up to the woke culture right now because they don't want to be put on social media. They don't want to be blasted on social media. They don't want to upset the women. But as you can see, what modern women are doing is that they are creating a society that can ultimately work against them. Because by saying that they don't want to do this, they want their own spaces and that this should be legal, men can then use the same arguments later on. And based on that, if the Supreme Court had sided with the women, this would have wonderfully opened up the door to male only gyms and men creating spaces where women would not be allowed to go. Women don't realize these things, that by taking away the rights of others, you're also creating a system where your rights can and also will be taken away later on. If you can really think about it carefully and objectively, you have a lot of women who are crying on social media that the cost of everything is too high and that they don't know what to do and they're done going to work. And of course, the whole boss babe mentality is falling apart for them. It is 100% falling apart for them because, you can't be the employer and then expect to receive a paycheck at the same time. It's one or the other. Either you serve the company or you own the company. But if you own the company, you're taking all the risk. And in many cases, the person who owns the company does not receive a salary from the company. Guys, these are just the consequences that more and more women will face over time. And the article, it tries to blame men, saying that it's the behavior of men for simply glancing in the direction of women, and the behavior of men needs to be controlled. These men are not speaking to these women. These men are keeping their distance from these women. But these women are saying that just because these men are there and these men have looked in their direction, just glanced at them, then actions need to be taken. Keep in mind that if police officers were called, it would potentially be the women who are being taken out of the gyms. Like, if these guys get very frustrated, like these women begin harassing these men, a man could pick up the phone and say that this woman started screaming at him while he was working out, and she's claiming that he was, looking at her. And more men are going to begin wearing these things called body cams. It's going to become a very normal thing. You're going to have men walking around with these badges. They're going to be wearables. I'm telling you right now. And a lot of people are going to do it. And they're going to record like every bit of your day. So, for example, you have your cell phone in your pocket, and the device is going to be on your chest, or let's say on your head, or whatever, on your hat, wherever. And it's going to record at 24 hours. A lot of people are going to record 24/7. And it'll basically record to your cell phone. So it'll just basically be capturing the visual data and recording it to your cell phone, and it's basically a 24-hour body cam. That's what we're going to have. That's what we're going to have. And when these women say things, men are just going to basically pull up their body cam footage and show cops, like, here's what's happened. Here's what's happened. Here's all the data. Here's everything. And, this is how she was behaving. And a lot of these women are going to be removed from the gyms. They're already being put out of the gyms for their behavior. And some of them are going to end up getting arrested, because you know how women behave when they deal with police officers. They think they're above the law. They think they can be disrespectful. They think they can be rude and rambunctious. And they're finding out that if you mess around, well, you're going to find out. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Women-only gyms are being shut down for discrimination against men. I want to know your thoughts regarding everything we discussed here in the video today. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.